It doesn't mean that you planted more trees in the park. It means it's a good design.
Okay.
We won FIAPC for this project. You imagine how many developments are able to offer a big central park migratory birds.
Mm-hmm.
They landed at our Tropicana Aman Park.
Well, welcome to another episode of Spill the Tea, powered to you by T360, where we bring to you premium experiences for our customers. So, today we have in our studio from our PDD, also known as Project Design Department. Please welcome Mr. Jimmy Khoo.
Hi everyone.
Hi Jimmy. So Jimmy has been in the industry for what, 20 odd years?
Yes.
And he is also been with Tropicana for 11 years. So come, join us as we spill the tea with Jimmy. Okay Jimmy, let's go straight to the point. From a planning and design perspective, why is landscape such a crucial element in modern property developments today?
For purchasers, they are not only buying buildings, they're also buying lifestyles from a client or developers. When you talk about lifestyles, what they're expecting areas they can hang out with the family's members, and then places that they can go for a jog during weekend. Those things they are looking forward in recent years, especially after the MCO. I've been staying home so long, and then they found this is very important to have a very healthy lifestyles. Not only busy on work, after busy from work, they can go back to their house, and then when they drive through the gut house, they see very nice trees, and then after they park their car, they can bring their kids to the playground in the park.
Correct.
It's all these people looking forward. So that's why the landscape very critical at right now. There are all these things you can't get it in the buildings. You got to be in the landscape area, all the parks, all the trees. So giving this kind of like very serene, relaxed environment for the purchasers.
Okay. So now, many people see landscaping mainly as a visual appeal, right? Now, from a designer's point of view, what does landscape planning actually involve? And what do developers and designers understand about it that homeowners, they don't know?
When you talk about landscapes design, a lot of people misunderstand it's only aesthetic.
Okay.
However, from a landscape designer point of view, it's also part of infrastructures.
Okay.
We always use the landscape as a stormwater management to control the flooding. You notice that in the central park, most of Central Park, we incorporate the retention pond in the design.
Yes, true.
So we covered out the space for retention pond. Meanwhile, we have this walkway circulated the retention pond, treated as a jogging tracks. So it's very natural setup. At the meantime, the pond itself also work as a stormwater management catchment area.
Okay.
When it's heavy rain, the surface water will flow to the lake, and then it reduces the water flow to the downstreams that may cause flooding.
So this is like what we, in our current issue of the magazine, we talked about sponge cities. Is that similar to that concept?
So yeah, similar to the concept that you are using the natural treatment instead of building a concrete catchment or something like that. It's a natural setup, and then the lake itself also become a natural habitat for the flora and fauna.
Okay, nice. So, Central Park concept and misconceptions. What is the role you already explained just now of a Central Park within development, but why has it become such an important planning feature?
Okay, important thing is the Central Park, we need users. When we do park design, we need to think of the programs, make sure that this park is going to be utilized by the purchasers or the visitors, even outsiders.
Okay.
A nice park is not only served for the community itself, it's also serving the others community that living nearby. So
yeah, like I've been to Tropicana in Kajang, which
Tropicana Heights.
And that park you can see people from all over, not only from the residents there.
Yeah,
they're utilizing the space.
This is how the park works. It's not like only designed for the residents they staying at that particular
Yeah.
area. So a good design will attract more people to enjoy the space. In the meantime, you talk about the functions, it got to be able to serve for va- various diversity.
Mhm.
Like for example, the elderly, they have space for them to like maybe reflexology path or
Tai Chi.
Tai Chi, lawn, open lawn for the Tai Chi, and then for kids, playground is a must.
Of course.
So for the misconception, sometimes purchasers or public they might misunderstand that more trees are better.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that you planted more trees in the park. It means it's a good design.
Okay.
Because when you place the trees, you got to think what kind of selection of trees that you're using. Encourage that use the native plants,
Mhm.
and then for us, we also try to have this drought tolerant species.
Drought
Drought
tolerant.
tolerant
Okay.
species. Drought tolerant species are encouraged because it's easier to maintain, and then they require less water.
Okay.
So it's part of a sustainable approach to create a big park. At the same time, you can cut off some of the maintenance costs as well.
Yeah, because you don't want to build a park and then you need to hire people to go and water the park.
Yeah.
Right? That's cost to you also.
Yes. And then Malaysia weather sometimes it's a very dry seasons, and then this kind of good for the species that they can have a higher surviving rate. When you talk about planting more plants, it may cause another issue. Like for example, those like it's very messy. You could be very messy.
Yeah.
And then some more you could have a lot of mosquitoes.
Okay.
Tell
me more about that. Mosquitoes. How do we avoid?
Okay, mosquitoes. Some species will help to prevent prevent mosquitoes.
Yeah, like what species are you talking about?
You could have serai.
Serai, okay.
Serai is very common.
Okay.
It just have a smell on it. So it's a very common species that we normally use for prevent this like mosquitoes repellents.
Okay.
Some of the gel, or you can use a spray. You saw in the store. They're also using
or they use citronella.
Lemongrass. Yeah.
Okay.
Lemongrass. All those.
All right. Okay. Interesting. Now, when you're designing, do you also influence how the people live and interact within the community on a day-to-day basis? Like basically, do you design it for the people also?
We design for people, yes. You see, for the park, you can't really when you do a design for the park, you have to think of who is going to use it. You imagine that if the big park design but nobody going to utilize it, it's something like it's an abundant space.
Okay.
Nobody going to enjoy it. The people won't come back. You don't have a value of it.
Yeah.
So when you do design, you do consider the usage. Like for example, you want to build either you're going to build a soccer field, or how big is the playground. All this is a consideration of the population as well.
Okay. Now, beyond the residents' well-being, right, that you spoke about, what other benefits can the landscape bring? For example, in terms of environment impact, commercial value, microclimate, just now you're talking about the drought and all that, or even retail and business performance.
The landscape could be a selling point for properties.
Okay.
See, for the property that built next to the gardens, you have a better, higher value. You imagine that you're staying in the properties, that you open up a window, you see a nice garden right in front of you.
Correct.
Compared to the properties that you stay and then you're looking at each other, the neighbors.
Okay.
That's the things that if people are looking forward a better living, they will understand the value of the properties with such a nice environment.
Okay, so you talked about when you have the property and then you want to make sure that people, when they open the window, they see another park instead of seeing another property, right? But that is also a challenge for you, right? Because you got a balance between the nature and also the density of the community. So, for example, like what's your biggest challenge when you're integrating such a large green space, like a central park, into a higher density or urban development, like maybe I think Metro Park or something?
Okay, you think of the accessibility, friendly enough for the residents staying next to it.
Okay.
How we did it for Metro Park is we have a walkway surrounded the Central Park.
Okay.
And then there's a direct access to the developments, each phases, there's a gate that can direct access to the park.
Okay.
So with the high density developments that meantime they don't have to go out to the main road, drive or walk all the way to the park. It's very direct access, and then they could enjoy very direct to the parks. And they just walk out with a tap with the access card
And they
at
can
the
access
gate.
it.
They can access it, and even the kids also feel very safe to go to the park. Meantime, so-called the challenges is the program that you're planning on it, because for example, the playground size, just like I mentioned, the playground size, and then the facilities, make sure they are able to accommodate so-called population that you plan for such a huge high density.
Okay. So I've been to Metro Park a few times, and I'm quite impressed with the park. Do you have a hand in it?
Yes.
Yeah. So like one of the functions I like a lot is, you notice that there's this inside the lake, there is these two fans, right? Tell me more about the function of it.
Actually, Metro Park is a urban park setting.
Okay.
Metro Park, Central Park is the urban park setting,
Yeah.
and then imagine that when you have a lot of high rise on the side of the developments, and then the center, it will become a wind tunnel effect.
Okay, wind tunnel effect.
Effect. So, the landscape designers that we appoint, they have this idea to turn these challenges to become something unique to the site.
Okay.
They can harvest the wind by using the windmill that they have installed at the
there's
park.
two windmills there.
Windmills, yes. So the windmills will capture the wind and then turn it into kinetic energy.
Okay.
From there, they draw the water in the lake for aeration and filtration system.
So in a way, it becomes like it cleans up the water, lah.
It cleans up the water.
All right.
Yes. So you don't have to spend money to run any power on it. It's because it run by itself.
Okay. So it's lower. It brings down the maintenance cost.
Yes, bring down the maintenance cost. In the meantime, it also cut down the services, because whatever things you install that require and machines whatever, it's a long run, you need to maintain it.
Correct. Okay, interesting. And then because of that, then the lake also is less one invasive species lah. You know, like, as they call, you know what, the ikan bandaraya. a lot of lakes, they use that.
Yes.
To clean up the lake, but actually it's very bad because it's invasive species. It's not native.
Yes.
It's not native to our waters, right?
Yeah. If you go to park like Tropicana, Tropicana, Metro Parks, you will see, you talk about species just now, they will see a lot of birds, like all the squirrels or those that come back, because we're restoring the habitats for the animals.
Yeah, nice.
Like just recently we noticed that the migratory birds, they landed at our Tropicana Aman Park. We are creating a natural setup areas, the park, for them to stop to land. Is instead of they can't find the places that this is,
and then they just
keep flying. So I think this is something very ecological approach, enhance the parks, meanwhile also helping up the so-called ecosystem. Look at it globally, could be because it's in migratory birds.
Correct. They need this. Well,
yes.
thank you for doing that. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for having the thought of including not only the residents' enjoyment, but also the birds, the other natures, into that. Okay, so we talked about all how the park adds the look, makes it feel better, premium and all that. So I think it also makes it more desirable. Like if a property has a central park, or better or very well landscaped, means it will make it more desirable. And what makes it more desirable means value will be good. So long-term value, does the size or type of park directly correlates with the development's value?
I think when the purchasers, they buy properties with the central park, think of it as assets instead of expenses.
Correct.
So when the assets it will bring in value to your properties, because the developments with the gardens is something people looking for all the times. You imagine how many developments are able to offer a big central park.
Not
many of them in the market. So this is something that to add value to your properties.
Okay.
But however, the nice garden require long-term maintenance. Yes. So that's why if the purchasers they understands and accept the value of the park,
Mm-hmm.
this is something that we need to keep it long run.
Correct.
Maintenance wise, you see, plants require long term maintenance because it's a living things, and then when the plants grow well in the gardens, it's not only increase the aesthetic value of the
Okay.
parks, and then meanwhile, you imagine that if you're thinking to sell your properties as second hand, value also higher.
Correct.
Because,
So that's what I mean, you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they imagine that if there's a property or developments that not well maintained, in long run, the park is run down, people not going there anymore. So the value of the houses will not be much appreciated. I look at it.
Okay.
So it's a two-way thing.
It's a two-way thing. Okay. Now, this one might put you in the spot a bit. So you talked about how Central Parks, if they're well maintained, can bring value and stuff. Right? But now, when is a Central Park actually a bad idea?
Actually, Central Park is not a bad idea. If they come to a constrained site, maybe you wouldn't use the term of Central Park. It's more like pocket gardens.
Pocket garden, okay?
Pocket gardens, but it's still providing a green space for the developments. Maybe you can't you got to rephrase it as a courtyards or pocket garden. Still, there's a green be provided. It's a space for the residents or the purchasers for them to hang out, to have the social integration activities over there. So I don't think green is a bad idea for developments. Some more you see in our authority they impose 10% green for all the developments.
Okay.
So everyone understand the importance of the green.
But Tropicana, I think, goes beyond that, right?
Yeah.
We're beyond the minimum.
Yeah. So we understand the value of it.
Okay.
So on top of what authority required, we giving more value to the purchasers.
Okay. But I mean, that it can't be always positive, lah. There has to be some negative behind having a Central Park.
No, we are always carefully taught how we're going to build. That's why there's a planning and design department.
Okay, good for you, lah.
When everything come on the paper from a consultancy, we went through it and then make sure it's properly crafted on ground.
Okay, so always plan ahead.
Yes, plan ahead. I understand your concern.
Yeah.
Sometimes things happen. How
Correct.
come it doesn't really fit into what's your expectation?
Yeah.
But however, there's a reason to have some review or some pre-consultation to the authorities to make sure everything going well.
Okay.
And that it's not over design
Okay.
that causes the maintenance issue in future.
Okay. But so basically, you're trying to say that it's never a liability, lah. It's always an asset.
Who doesn't like the natural
True.
things?
I actually don't know. Some people do, but yeah, I know what you mean. Majority of people, they always want to get green. They want life and all that. That's why they go hiking and stuff.
Even though you talk about natural or green, yeah, some of projects you might not able to offer them a huge Central Park, but even high rise, you imagine all the high rise that we have, we always provide a very nice green landscape at the facilities floor.
Correct.
People likes it. That's why you can see the market, even our Tropicana projects, we really emphasizing how we crafted the design to provide the landscape design for the facilities floor. Make sure it's well proposed and then well executed, and then the purchaser able to enjoy it with all the facilities we provided to them.
Okay. So moving on, now how do you measure success, right? So you build all this, you plan ahead, but still you have to go back after a few years and see whether is it good, did it do well and stuff.
We talk about successful design. Two things I always keep in my mind is first thing, it got to be well maintained.
Okay.
Well maintained. And then second thing is people using the park.
Okay.
No point you design a park but no one going to enjoy it.
All right.
So how people going to use the park, you always consider what kind of program they're going to offer to them. Make sure that if you look at the community, if you are targeting family and then but you're only providing a very small playground, right? So all these things is how you reflect to the market demands.
Or you make it too open, there's no shade, then people don't want to go in the afternoon.
True. All this program is very important. Like for example, your with your central parks, your jogging track, but no sitting area.
Yeah.
So people will go.
Okay.
So those are the thoughts that make sure it's successful, and then with all that easy access, and then the function and the program is very important, because the plants and the garden is just a hardware, but the software is all the how the society using it, enjoy
Okay.
it.
So, any success stories from Aman or Metro Park?
Okay, for Tropicana Aman, our park is very popular. And then you talk about playground, we have a very iconic playground there.
Okay.
People call it Cyclone Tower.
Cyclone Tower.
From far, you will see the playground.
Oh, nice.
So when you talk about landscape, it could be iconic features for the developments. When you talk about Cyclone Tower, have you seen this Cyclone Tower in my Tropicana Aman? Okay, it's something like it's a branding itself. Like when residents staying in Tropicana Aman, you can tell your friends, you see my park, I got a very nice Cyclone Tower playground. It's a very unique and characteristic kind of play elements for
like it's viral also, I'm sure.
Yes, the park is very popular when we first opened to the public.
Okay.
The playground.
Nice.
Not only the residents come to enjoy the playground, the nearby community also drop by, take a look.
Yeah, it's a big community.
Yes. Kota Kamuning area.
Yeah, the area is a big community. Okay, nice. Then about Metro Park, any success stories from that?
We provide lots of hardscape area because it's urban park. So I think if we talk about success, I would say it's more on the functionality of the area. They can have a lot of programs, events. Our sales marketing team also keep quite. The area is quite popular.
Correct.
And then they use the area because they already provide a lot of platform for them to run the events over there.
Yep. So you were talking a lot about how you've worked 11 years in Tropicana. Which is your most proud project?
I would say Tropicana Aman. Yes, we won FIAPSI for this project.
Oh, nice.
It's
That's a big accolade.
Yes. You're very proud of it. And then also thanks for the judges that they understand what you're doing. And then they acknowledge the value that we've been applied for these developments. You have 80 acres of Central Park for these developments.
Fantastic.
And it's a long journey going through.
Okay.
And then meantime, for this park, you can see the response from the purchasers. They really enjoyed it. If you go during weekend, you see a lot of people go jogging, and then you are not like overdoing it. It's because the designer, landscape consultants, they provide the set. They design something is very natural. Meantime, just like I mentioned, the migratory birds.
Correct.
They come back. This is how things that you're not overdoing it. Not too many hardscape. It's a lot of natural setup. A lot of aquatic plants been planted, vegetation. All this created this area is more natural setting that the animals loves it and they come back to the area.
And the migratory birds is an immediate appreciation.
Yes.
Right?
It shows a result.
Like nature is clapping hands.
Yes. So shows a result. So we're happy to see that.
Yeah, exactly. So okay, Aman, Metro Park, these are all properties that practically almost sold out, right? Let's talk about something that is still in the making, still under construction, still opportunity for especially our users at home, right? Our listeners at home, they want to know which property out there that they should look out for, especially with your landscaping experience.
Tropicana Alam is something that they could consider because you are using a very similar approach and formula from Tropicana Aman.
Nice.
Because the design of the park is also we crafted the landform and then planted vegetation next to the water to restore and reinstate the habitats for the wildlife. Today I just went to Tropicana Alam. I just noticed that the dragonflies, sparrows flying above the waters is something that even though this project yet to be handed over to the purchasers, but you can see the result already from there.
Nice. So it must be also a proud moment for you, lah.
Yes, I think it's a teamwork that make this happen.
Great. Last but not least, is there one thing homeowners or buyers should look when they evaluate a development's landscape or Central Park?
Reputation of the developers.
Okay.
I will say that it's a long-term things. Those I would say Tropicana we always offer something with thoughts. Like for example, the landscape. You always think of how we're going to deliver, how we're going to offer to the users, what kind of program, what kind of species that we planted, and then how you're going to maintain it long run. What are the things, initiative things that we can offer to make to reduce the maintenance cost.
Okay.
And then meantime, you're also thinking how the residents could enjoy the park in different generations.
Okay.
That is a track records of the properties developers that who could deliver such a standard of the Central Park to the purchasers.
So don't just buy into the brochure. Look into the background of the developers.
Background of the developers. Yeah.
Nice. Well, with that, thank you very much, Jimmy.
Thank you.
Appreciate having you here on the show. And for those of our listeners back home, don't forget to check us out on t360.com.my and follow us on My Tropicana Lifestyle on social media for more updates on our new episodes. Till then, I'll see you again. Bye-bye. Come, Jimmy, let me pour you some tea. Oh yeah, forgot lah, puasa lah, cannot. Anyway, we're still looking for sponsors, guys. Still looking for sponsors. So if you want to sponsor the tea, you know who to contact. And thank you very much, Jimmy, for coming on board.
Thank you.
So we have takeaway tea for you.
Thank
Here
you.
go.
Thank
Hope
you.
you enjoy.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.